On this episode of This Week in the NPSL, unbeaten teams look to stay that way. FC Wichita shooting for an 8-0 start, but one of our new members had other ideas. In the Midwest, Minneapolis City SC was also looking to stay unbeaten as they took on an in-state rival fighting for the postseason. In the West, Spokane SC Shadow also looking to keep on winning with a pair of matches against their Pacific Northwest rivals. And in the Northeast, Boston City looking to keep their slim playoff hopes alive against Seacoast United. All that and our Player of the Week is coming up next. Welcome to This Week in the NPSL. I'm your host, Paul Boron, out of the studio and on the road in Greenville, South Carolina, home of Greenville FC, one of our new members in the league. And later in the show, we will catch up with the man responsible for bringing the team to Greenville. But we're going to start out west with two other new members, FC Davis and Academica SC. They are wrapping up their first season in the league, and they met Saturday night. And this match was all Academica. Second minute, a goal from Alex Betancourt, assisted by Mane Villegas. Then the 14th minute, Betancourt does it again. In the 29th minute, former Player of the Week, Cody Goldbad. And then it is Goldbad again in the 45th minute, team leading 14 goals on the season, assisted by Betancourt. They keep piling it on late too. 86th minute, Adrian Pasencia, assisted by Betancourt. And then Ramiro Seja on an assist from Edwin Rodriguez in the 88th minute. And how about one more in stoppage time? Edwin Rodriguez getting the goal as Academica rolls. To the northwest in a pair of matches between Spokane Shadow and PDX FC. We start with the game on June 23rd, and it's Carl Muhlheims getting the ball inside, finding a little space, and scores his first of 5 on the weekend in the 34th minute. Then Muhlheims gets the ball and dishes to Mike Ramos, who works past the defender to score a minute before half, and it's 2-0. Later, Nick Hamer is fouled as 3 players converge on him, resulting in a free kick that is craftily played, with Eric Espinoza running past and Noah Chapleski playing it to Tanner Williams. Williams gives the appearance of an upcoming shot, but instead plays for Hamer, who rips the shot in from outside the box in the 82nd minute as the Shadow win 4-1. They play a day later, and it's Chapleski launching a diagonal service to Muhlheims at the far corner of the 6, but his header goes off the bar. Then Eric Espinoza serving a ball from the left that Tanner Williams one-times off the crossbar. But then they get the scoring going. Nick Hamer converting a penalty lower left in the 42nd minute to make it 2-0. Then Muhlheims finishes for his second goal of the game and 4th of the weekend in the 44th minute. Celebrates with a dance that's matched with Noah Whitman. 3-0 at the break. They win 6-0. Orange County FC overcame 2 own goals and got 2 from Peter Gregory in their win over Riverside Chorus as they continue their postseason push. They end up against FC Arizona next week. Spokane SC Shadow continued to pace the Northwest with their 2 wins last week, but Kitsap Pumas and FCM Portland both have 4 wins. And another newbie, El Farolito, will complete their conference-winning regular season this weekend against FC Davis. And later in the show, we'll head back out west for our Player of the Week. But when we come back, we will check in on the Midwest, where Minneapolis City continues to lead the North, but Duluth FC continues to be in hot pursuit. We look in on both when we come back.
Keep up to date on the NPSL with scores, stats, schedules, and exclusive content on the brand new NPSL.com. Visit NPSL.com to browse our dedicated ticket platform. Read up on team news from around the country and view the latest episode of This Week in the NPSL.
Welcome back to This Week in the NPSL from one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, Greenville, South Carolina, home to Greenville FC, who we'll be checking in with a little later in the show. But we're going to shift our attention to the north, where Minneapolis City has been in front from the get-go. But they haven't pulled away because Duluth FC is red hot. They had 2 matches this week, and 2 wins. Midwest highlights and a 14th minute chance for Duluth FC off a direct shot from winger Joe Watt as he bends it deep corner off the top of the crossbar. 30th minute chance for LC Aries as Nick Adamidi has a sight at goal, which he shoots wide. Unfortunately for Lacrosse, he couldn't capitalize on Aries' only clear chance of the match. Then it was all Duluth. 48th minute, following some clever wing play from Joe Watt, Aaron Lev Arvey will get the ball on the goal mouth scramble and poke it in from close range for his first ever Duluth FC goal. Then plenty of insurance late for Duluth. English midfielder Joe Watt adding a 72nd minute goal to his man of the match display with some trickery and quick feet, allowing him an open-sided goal, and he makes no mistake on the strike. 80th minute, Soro Wakabayashi cuts inside across the 18-yard box and rifles home a left-footed strike to score his first ever goal for Duluth FC. Then in stoppage time, they get one more as winger Leo Almeida adds a 4th goal, his first goal as a member of Duluth FC, and they win over LC Aries. Then on Saturday night, hosting Sioux Falls Thunder FC, the supporters group, the Duluth Dreadnoughts, waving the massive Sunrise Battle flag. 6th minute chance for Sioux Falls Thunder off a corner. Pedro Ratajkowski, one of the few clear chances for the Thunder all match as Duluth cleans it up in the back. 14th minute, a lovely searching ball from midfielder Santi Castro finds Joe Watt. Watt draws the keeper out but slides it into the path of Dane Kowacek, who finishes the build-up with a goal. 21st minute, a clever training ground free kick routine sees winger Joe Watt lay the ball to midfielder Tom Corcoran, who hit an absolute belter from 25 yards out, Duluth's second of the game and Cochran's first for the season. 74th minute, a quick free kick and a fantastic vision from Aiden Hill with a searching ball over the top, finding Kyle Farrar for a gorgeous one-touch chip over the Sioux Falls keeper. Finally recovering from injury, Farrar, the 2017 leading scorer, gets his first goal of the season. One more in the 86th minute, tenacious pressing opens up the opportunity for forward Brooks Rice down the right, which sees him cut back inside the box, and with a sharp left-footed strike, makes it 4-0. Conference-leading Minneapolis City hosting Minnesota Twin Stars in a Twin Cities derby in Osseo, Minnesota. Will Kidd fouled early, and Max Stiegwart steps up and buries the penalty. Twin Stars would strike back, a scuffed shot on a breakaway by David Chroma, fooling Matt Elder in the City goal. City was laying siege to the Twin Stars goal, but it took a deflection from a Max Stiegwart shot to give City the lead again in the 31st minute. But in the final minute and a half, out of the blue, Twin Stars won a contentious penalty that Kareem Darbaki scores to even things up. City threw the kitchen at the Twin Stars with a sequence in the final minute that included 2 blocks, a hit crossbar, and a fine save. In the end, it's a 2-2 draw, and Minneapolis City goes against Duluth on Saturday night. Cleveland SC in first place Erie Commodores in a battle in the East Conference. First goal of the night came in the 32nd minute, courtesy of Cleveland SC's Vinny Bell when he scored off an Admir Suljovic through pass. Erie answered back in the 43rd minute off a deflected shot from Casey Bartlett. 66th minute now, it was Erie taking a 2-1 lead from a near post shot from Jack Simpson. But the lead wouldn't last long as Vinny Bell's shot across the goal would level it up in the 68th minute. 11 minutes later, it's Bell completing the hat trick off of the corner kick. Erie didn't give up though and almost answered at the end of the game with this shot that Cleveland's Mario Musa had to lay out to stop. Cleveland would see out the rest of the match and take a 3-2 win. Then on Sunday, Cleveland taking on Syracuse FC. Cleveland's first goal of the afternoon came via a 30-yard blast from Mike Derazic. Syracuse didn't make it easy for Cleveland though. Towards the end of the half, their defense and keeper came up big on this shot from James Hopp. 65th minute, Riley Grant's pass finds Admir Suljovic, who drove the ball in the bottom corner to give Cleveland a 2-0 lead. Then 2 minutes later, it would be Grant finding the back of the net for himself on a great finish. Then Grant again setting up Suljovic in the 72nd minute to give Cleveland a 4-0 lead and the win. These two square off again Saturday night in the Cuse. FC Columbus got their 4th win of the season in that 2-1 win over Grand Rapids FC. We showed you 2 of the teams in the tight North race, but don't forget about VSLT FC as they got their 6th win as well. And Erie Commodores FC suffered their first loss against newcomer Cleveland SC, who is quickly closing in the East. When we come back, we'll check out another team looking to stay unbeaten. FC Motown highlights are next.
Passage is the official ticket provider of the NPSL and powers the league's dedicated ticketing platform. Support live local soccer by visiting tickets.npsl.com to find tickets to NPSL matches near you directly from NPSL teams.
Back in Greenville, South Carolina, and one of the prettiest college campuses in the South, Furman University, home to one of the new squads in the NPSL, Greenville FC. But now we go to the Northeast and check in on a team that isn't new, but their name is in 2018. But one thing hasn't changed for FC Motown: winning. Kene Easy heads one into the net in the 15th minute. 6 minutes later, Sammy Gaimon floating one over the keeper. That makes it 2-0. Then Easy's smooth touch leads to his 2nd goal of the match in the 70th as FC Motown rolls 6-0. Earlier in the week, Shock taking on FC Monmouth. 14th minute. Monmouth's Matt Torsion with the action and fouled by Electric City Shock for a PK. It is converted by Jordan Sailing, and it's 1-0. 28th minute now, FC Monmouth's Daniel Vicenta picking up the ball in his own half and winning a foot race against the Shock defense, chipping it over the goalkeeper and scoring an amazing goal. Electric City Shock looking to mount a comeback, but this shot is saved by Scott Weigel. 51st minute, Electric City Shock scores. Jimmy Wilcox gets the finish and later a chance to equalize after an Electric City Shock. Oscar Angel Velasquez gets the ball, but he hits the crossbar. Last minute chance for insurance by Monmouth, but Justin White has 2 tries that hit the crossbar. No matter though, they win 2-1. Boston City FC looking to stay alive in the postseason. Captain Gabriel D'Souza, operating in an unfamiliar right-back role, provided a constant threat down the wing, and 3 minutes before halftime delivered a low cross which Rafael D'Souza controlled and fired into the bottom corner on the turn. Lions keeper Jacob Wagmeister, 11 minutes into the second half, with a spectacular diving save to deny the Mariners scoring opportunity. 64 minutes played, and Noah Strakalirsi raced forward to collect a pass played beyond the Boston City back 3. Chipped keeper Wagmeister, who got a hand of the ball but couldn't keep it out for the Seacoast United Mariner equalizer. 4 minutes from full time, and substitute London Jackson Steed curled a precise free kick over the home defensive wall, but his finish was kept out by the man of the match Wagmeister, who dived a full stretch to deny Seacoast what would have been a dramatic late winner. FC Baltimore's result in our game of the week from last week means they sit atop the Mid-Atlantic thanks to their goal differential. The song remains the same in the North Atlantic, where New York Cosmos B has the biggest points lead in any conference in our league. And FC Motown has 21 total points in the Keystone, with New Jersey Copa and Westchester United right there. When we come back to Greenville, we'll check in on Greenville FC and check out some of their opponents this week, and check in on the Heartland, where FC Wichita is looking to stay unbeaten.
Keep up to date on the NPSL with scores, stats, schedules, and exclusive content on the brand new NPSL.com. Visit NPSL.com to browse our dedicated ticket platform, read up on team news from around the country, and view the latest episode of This Week in the NPSL.
This week's Game of the Week features our host, Greenville FC, taking on one of the league's most popular members in Chattanooga FC. We'll tell you how that turned out next week. Meanwhile, Chattanooga FC was in action last week against a Southeast contender in Atlanta Silverbacks. Now, both teams squared off on Wednesday night as they are jockeying for position for the conference crown. The Chatta hooligans marching in for the normal great environment at Finley Stadium, but in the 43rd minute, the Silverbacks get on the board first on a goal by Thierry Chules, and it's 1-0 Atlanta. but Chattanooga would go on a rush in the last 20 minutes. 73rd minute, Caleb Cole scores on an assist from Felipe Oliveira. Cole grew up in Chattanooga, was a former ball boy for the club, making his first start and gets his first ever goal. 7 minutes later, Daniel Valenciano scores on an assist from Costa. Then 5 minutes after that, Luke Winter scores on an assist from Costa after Costa bent it off the outside of his foot to Winter, who volleyed it in. Then 2 minutes later, Costa completed a big game by forcing an Atlanta own goal with a deflection off the keeper. Costa ended the night with 2 assists and the forced own goal as the Chattanooga Hooligans break into their happy dance. Battle of the Southeast finalists from a year ago, Inter Nashville FC and New Orleans. 16th minute, Liam Collins with a long-range beauty that finds the top corner and gives Inter Nashville the 1-0 lead. 29th minute, a spectacular individual effort by the Jesters' Mason Walsh, a 50-yard run that ends with a great equalizer. Late in the first half, Jesters looked to go ahead, but Oliver Roberts' shot hits the bar. 75th minute, and another good opportunity for New Orleans as they have a great build-up, but Tony Giudice can't put it away, and New Orleans and Inter Nashville each walk away with a point. FC Wichita looking to stay undefeated, and they get off to a good start. 11th minute, Taylor Cubero scores on a long pass from Nelson Landaverde to put FC Wichita up 1-0. 27th minute, and Wichita fails to clear, and Eric Lopez sends a rocket from outside of the 18 to level the match at 1. Then all the way into stoppage time after a red card left FC Wichita with 10 men, Will Linder sent a header screaming into the back of the net to give St. Louis Club Atletico the 2-1 upset over previously unbeaten FC Wichita. Tulsa Athletic got 2 goals from Gustavo Vargas in their 6-0 win that propels them into second in the Heartland. Meanwhile, Miami FC2 gets a goal from Dario Suarez, and that holds up in their 2-0 win over Storm FC as they move to the top. You saw the top 4 teams in action in the Southeast, and you see how balanced that conference is from top to bottom. And in the Lone Star, national finalist Midland Odessa is right there with 6 wins, chasing new member Laredo Heat SC. And speaking of new members, we thank our hosts from Greenville FC, another one of our new members. And earlier today, I got a chance to catch up with their president, Marco Carrizales. We introduced you as a new member back in December. Now you're almost at the end of the first year. Has it been a whirlwind first year?
Yeah, it has. I think coming into the league, obviously new. There was a lot of adjusting that we didn't intend for, stuff we didn't know, stuff we needed to learn, but in talking with all the other teams in our conference, I think everyone was willing to help and give provide a helping hand and really help us kind of get what we have off the ground. So hats off to everyone in the conference that we've looked up to and kind of studied and tried to mirror. So yeah, it's been great, but looking back, it's, I don't know, you kind of think of the game at hand. So.
Well, talk about the crowds you guys have had here. You guys have done very well. The community's really come out and supported this. Why did you know that Greenville would support it?
I think I had a good feeling just because I went to Furman University. I was in Greenville for a couple years. I was in the soccer community, working with youth clubs, working with high schools, colleges, and this and that. And I knew there was a need for it and a want. And then so throughout kind of my research, I had a feeling really. And looking at, there was no higher level outside of their Furmans and Clemsons and Wofford's that are in the area. I had a feeling that if we were to do it right, that it would settle in with the community. Finally,
I know you'd rather have more wins,
yeah,
obviously, but for the big picture, this first season of success?
Yeah, I think so. I think right now with how tight the conference table is, it's, we're trying, hopeful, to sneak into the playoffs, and I think, hopefully we get some good results the next couple games that we can get into the playoffs and make a decent run. I think, I think in terms of our community support, the club that we've built, I'm really happy with it, and I think everyone is happy with it as well. So yeah, success overall for sure.
Thank you, Marco. And before we take off, it's time to check out our Player of the Week. And we go to the Golden Gate Conference, and Khalid Aramdani of East Bay FC Stompers, who scored 4 goals in the Stompers' 6-1 win over Napa Valley 1839 FC. He first joined the Stompers in 2013, and after a year away from the team, returned with 11 goals in 2015, and his performance brings him to 5 for this season, and now Player of the Week honors. But that is going to do it for this week's show. We want to thank our hosts from Greenville FC and remind you they are a part of the Game of the Week against Chattanooga FC, and you'll also see highlights of their match at home against the New Orleans Jesters. That's when we are on the road again from Atlanta, Georgia, when we join you again for This Week in the NPSL.